Okay, so this is the review for the test tomorrow. Remember, you can pause, rewind, ask questions, raise your hand. And I'm not going to go in order. I'm going to do the easy ones first, and then I'm going to do the harder ones, the ones that I think are more wordy. So the easy ones, like problem number 1, like this one can be done 2 different ways. You can either do it by y equals trace. So write it down, y equals trace, or we could do it by matrix. So I'm going to do it both ways, and then you choose the way that you like best. The easiest way to me, because of the way that this is written, okay, would be y equals. So this one, the bottom one is ready for y equals. The top one is not. All you have to do to the top one is move the 2x over and change the sign to minus 2x. And now your equations are ready to be put in the calculator. Make sure that you're writing this down. So the top equation is y equals 2 minus 2x. The bottom equation is y equals negative 3x plus 6 all over 2. The thing about this one is, if you put it in wrong, you're going to get the wrong answer. So they're saying that the whole top is divided by 2. So the whole top needs to be in parentheses and then divided by 2. Okay, so we would put both of those in the calculator. Y equals. So go ahead and start typing it. Two minus 2x and parentheses negative 3x plus 6 close parentheses divided by 2. If you don't put the parentheses, then you're telling the calculator that we only want the 6 divided by 2. I want the whole thing divided by 2. And then hit trace. So where does the solution look like it's at? It looks right here, and that's around negative 2. So if you look at your answer choices, we can check negative 2 and see if it gives you 6. So right here, type negative 2, enter, and it's close enough. And it does give you 6. You can also go to second graph and make sure that at negative 2, your y1 and y2 are both the same. So right here, both of them are 6s, and that's what we wanted. 6 and 6, so it's negative 2 comma 6. All right, if you want to do it by matrix. Okay, let's say you want to do it by matrix. The top one is ready. I have 2x plus y equals 2. The bottom one is not ready. So the first thing I need to do is get rid of that 2 by multiplying both sides by 2. You multiply both sides by 2. So that gives you 2y equals negative 3x plus 6. And then now all I have to do is move the negative 3x over here, make it a positive 3x, and we're done. And this is a positive 2y, so make sure that's a plus. So now I have 2 equations. I have 2x plus y equals 2, and I have 3x plus 2y equals 6. And I can put this part in matrix, and that'll give you the same answer. Okay, so tomorrow you get to choose whichever one you remember or whichever one you like best. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to the next problem, which is number 3. Again, this one, you can either put them both in y equals trace or do matrix. And for this one, I think matrix is just better because of where the y is on the top one. So let's just move everything to the left. Make sure that the x is first, then the y, then the number. So right here, my 5x is first. Then I need to move the 8y right here after it. So that would be 5x minus 8y equals negative 24 for the top equation. And for the bottom equation, I need to move the negative 5x in front of the y, because it has to be in order, and change that to a positive 5. So that's 5x plus y, because this is a positive y, equals that 12. Okay, and now it's ready to be put in matrix. And they're only asking for the value of x. Okay, just the x, not the y. So go ahead and pause the video, put this in matrix, and let's see if you get the same answer as I do. Okay, so you should have had time to put this in matrix. I really want y'all to practice and not me having to do everything for you. Second, matrix, arrow over to edit, enter. Make sure that it's a 2 by 3. And put your numbers in there. 5, enter, negative 8, enter, negative 24, enter, 5, 1, 12. And make sure that you second mode to get out of the screen, because if not, it won't work. Second matrix, arrow over to math, go up to RREF, press enter 1 time. Because your cursor needs to be right next to the parentheses. And then second matrix, enter, enter. That gives you a decimal. I want a fraction, so math, enter, enter, will give me the fraction. My solution is at 8 over 5, that's my x, comma 4, that's my y, but they're only asking for the x. So they only want the 8 over 5. Okay, that was pretty simple. I want you to do the same thing with problem number 4. Okay, this is ready for matrix, so go ahead and put this in matrix, and let's see what you get. Pause the video, and go ahead and do it yourself. So that should have gave you time to put it in matrix. I'm going to go ahead and do it real quick for those of you who don't know how to do this. Go to edit, 2 by 3, put your numbers in, 3, enter, negative 4, negative 10, 9, negative 12, negative 30. Second quit, second matrix, math, RREF, enter 1 time, second matrix, enter, enter, it gives you fractions, math, enter, enter, and this is what you got. It gave you all zeros at the bottom. Do we remember what that means? Wrong. It's not no solution. No solution would have been 0, 0, and some number. This is 0 plus 0 equals 0. 0 plus 0 equals 0 happens always. Okay, just like infinite solutions. Okay, so if we look at the answer choices, the only one that says infinite solutions is D. Okay, there was also one that said no solution. So if you don't memorize those, then you're going to get it wrong. Let's go do problem number 5. This one is ready for y equals. They're both in y equals. They gave you the equations. They didn't give you where they cross. So we need to put both of those in y equals trace, or y equals second graph. And you can use these answer choices. Check 18, check 12, check 25. So let's put both of those in y equals. $8,000 minus 280x and 6,000 minus 200x. Trace. So trace doesn't work because I don't see the intersection. So where am I going to go? Second graph. And we're looking for those numbers that we saw as the answer choices. Let's go to 12 first and see if they're the same. And they're not, so that's not the answer. Go to 18. They're not the same. That's not the answer. Go to 25. Both of them are 1,000. That's the answer. The answer for this problem is 25. That's when they're going to be the same. Oops. $25 is the answer. All right, let's go do this one. Draw a line of lines that have no solution. What type of lines have no solution? Lines that don't intersect. What type of lines are those? Parallel lines. So just draw two parallel lines that will never cross. Okay, so there might be a question about that on tomorrow's test. The last one I'm going to do on this video is problem number 8. The next problems I'm going to do on a second video. So for this one, which graph can be used to find the solution to the system of equations below? If they're all graphs, what do I have to do? Y equals trace. So I have to solve for y. Write that down. Solve for y, both of them. You can also do matrix and see where they cross. The only thing about this one is that two lines, look at A and B, both cross at the same time, at the same place. So if I was to do matrix on this, which I can, and I did, the solution is 1, 2. Okay, if I put this in matrix, the solution is 1, 2. This one's at 1, 2. This one's at 1, 2. This is not the answer. This is not the answer. So now I'm left with, I still have to solve for y. Right? So tomorrow you can start it by doing matrix, and then you can see if there's two answers that you need to solve for y. So if I solve for y, x minus y equals -1. What do you move? The x, change the sign, minus x, and then divide everything by -1. You have to get rid of that -1 right there. So that's y equals -1 divided by -1 is 1. -1 divided by -1 is 1x. That's my first equation. My second equation, 2x plus y equals 4. This one's easier. You just move the 2x over, change the sign, and there's nothing to divide. So that's y equals 4 minus 2x. Put both of them in y equals trace. And both of these look very similar, so you have to be very careful at which one, what the answer is. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video now, and you go ahead and find the answer, see if it's A or B. Don't forget to watch the second video.